My best advice to a beginner who's trying to start their freelance business is start small and use freelance marketplaces. If you're just starting, hey guys, how y'all today? My name is Onyinye, and today we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about, how to start small freelance business. Tomorrow, I'm going to be having my event, my webinar event, and I'm going to be talking about how to attract your ideal client. So I'm going to put the link right there on description so that you can register and come to the event. If you have a B2C business, if you're planning to start a B2C business, then that webinar is for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have 15 minutes to discuss all of these topics, and I hope you all are going to wait to the end. My name is Onye. As I said, I'm a full-time freelancer, project manager. I focus on planning and promoting events. I've helped or assisted over 50 clients, international clients, and I'm right here in Nigeria. And I hope today's episode is going to help you answer certain questions, give you clarity. So first question is talking about, how do I start a small freelance business? I'm going to be talking or giving you about 5 tips on how you can start a small, emphasis on small. I always encourage people to start small, then over time you can go ahead and scale, right? So emphasis on starting small. The first thing you want to do, identify your skills. I have a book I talked about, but I'm going to say the name of my book is Sell Your Skill. But I'm going to say identifying your skill is your top priority if you want to start a small freelance business. Is it the skill you know? Like, how good are you at particular skill? Do you have any certification to back that skill up? If not, do you have any experience back that? Do you just know it? What type of experience do you have, right? Is it a project, or have you done projects for yourself, or have you done projects for others? These are things that will help you figure out your skill, right? Help you identify your skill. So you want to make sure, of course, that this skill is something that you'd be able to, in this case, deliver to someone who is probably not in your look, someone who is in another country, another city, without having to send it to the person through courier, right? So you're sure that you have certain skills, you have certain things that you can do that will help the person with their business, right? The second thing I'm going to talk about is defining your target market. Now, starting small, I always encourage, just join a freelance marketplace. It's easy because this marketplace bring people who actually want your service. You spend less on promotion, you spend less effort on trying to promote yourself and your brand and what your service are, because you are already in the platform. You just need to figure out how that particular platform works, and you'll be fine figuring out how that particular platform works. In a case where there is Upwork, there is Fiverr, there's Freelancer, there are other platforms, figuring out how Upwork works is what you want to spend most of your time, because these platforms are already bringing people who want this service. There are people who want your service. You just want to figure out how to make sure you get them, right? The next thing I want to talk about is setting your price. Setting your pricing is important, and I know usually people get confused when it comes to set pricing, especially if you're stuck. And remember, this video is for people who are starting small. So how I usually do, of course, I have different gigs, and if I'm trying to break into a new, if I'm trying to create a new gig for my product or for my service, a service I intend to offer, I go and I do market survey. I find out who is doing what I want. How are they delivering it? Are they doing exactly what I want to do? Is there a difference? And then how much are they charging? Are they charging higher than I would have expected, or are they charging lower than? Also, do they have reviews for that particular gig? And finally, what is their experience on that particular platform? Remember, I'm saying, if you're new, go join a platform. Join Fiverr, join Upwork, join any platform, any community where people come to find that particular service or products that you're trying to sell. By the time I ask myself this question about what that particular person or different people are doing, then I go ahead and reevaluate, right? Remember, I'm starting. I don't have much experience. Even if I do have experience, I probably don't have experience with international clients. So I need to calm down and try to get in. What I do is that I try to check people who are new, right? New sellers, people who don't have reviews for that particular gig, for that particular service that I want to offer. I compare their rates, right? How much are they serving? How much are they charging? And how much should I charge? So by comparing their rates, I figure out what I think should charge. That's not the end of it. I always go back to tweak my gigs, right? I go back every 1 week, 2 weeks to check my performance. So thank God most of these platforms give you analytics, right? So you can see the impression rate, you can see your clicks, and then you can kind of gauge, what's going on with that particular service that you want to offer. So the next thing I will tell you to do is to create a portfolio. If your service, if you do not have experience, you want to create, even if the projects are your personal project, that's good. Now, if you already have your personal project, try as much as possible to find someone to help out, like someone who isn't you, because working with someone or having a project that you actually did for someone will show that you have that experience. You can work with people, you probably had a deadline start, and that they can trust you with their work, because you know how things you do for yourself is, right? So if you do not have a portfolio at all, then try to create one. If it means having a project for yourself, that's if you do have a portfolio, go and find someone that you can help out, right? Go and find someone that and add it to your portfolio. This can help boost you, because right there in your description you can tell people to chat you up to see your pop, right? So it will kind of help people, to increase your rates, right, of getting new clients. Now, my last clip to market your service, right? Marketing your service is important, right? But remember when I said if you're already in this marketplace, because this marketplace is bringing buyers and sellers, you really don't need to do so much. What you need to do is to figure out how to stand out amongst other sellers, right? So we're talking about your optimizing your profile, checking keywords, right? Just figure out how that particular platform works. Watch YouTube videos and figure out how best on yourself better. And you don't really need to go out and do one-on-one. Yes, at some point you'll get to that point when you want to start reaching out and finding more clients. But when you're starting small, remember we're all starting small, just work with what you already have. And don't forget that you need to consider what type of service are you offering. Some service are seasonal service. Probably got into the game when that service not right. So you want to think about it. If you're a graphic designer, great that you're a graphic designer. But maybe people do a lot of graphics design during seasons, right? Maybe when they want to send out during seasons, right? Because they have events that they are planning and there are holidays, and so people have time. So you want to gauge that kind of thing, right? If you're a virtual assistant, when do people usually start projects? People probably don't start projects in the beginning of the year. They probably start projects towards the end of. So you might get a little bit of surge here during the holidays or towards the end of the year, right? Next question is, how can a beginner start a freelance? It's like, how can a beginner start their freelance? What is my best advice? My best advice to a beginner who's trying to start their freelance business is start small and use freelance marketplaces. If you're just starting, I usually don't put in effort in branding, especially when you're a freelancer and you're just starting, right? How about start cutting, right? People are more interested in your skills than your certification. They are more interested in your experience than your certification. So if you have certifications and no experience, then you want to put more efforts into trying to get experience, which might be start up a project or offer to help someone plan their project, for free, right? Offer your service for free. It will help you gain experience, and so you can at least start charging people, even if it's low, and over time you can now increase your price. My second advice, of course, I talked about it earlier, was to build your portfolio. If you're small, people are not really interested in your certification. They are more interested in your ability to deliver. Somehow it is related to your experience, right? So the more experienced you are, the more people trust that you can deliver on time, can deliver quality, you can work in a dynamic space, like, because usually people, you can just you'll be able to take initiative you'll be able to take initiative, right? So most times you want to make sure you have your portfolio ready. It can be as small as your Instagram page, right? If you're a VA, it can be as small as an Instagram page of a business, an online business you had. That okay, you create, you're an entrepreneur, you understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. This is a business you've handled, blah blah blah. Depending on the skill, of course, the most important thing with every project is to make sure the skills that you're trying to portray that you have, that you actually made use of it in that project, right? So my next question is, what are some common challenges in running a small freelance? Personally, I'm saying all of this from my experience. All of this are my opinion. One of the greatest challenge that I had when I started freelance was getting new clients. Getting clients at all. It is usually very difficult for new freelancers to get clients. And there are so many videos online that you watch and it seems as if they don't work. Trust me, I watched videos upon videos of, I read blogs, I read articles, I followed freelancers online just to get a feel of what it is. But the thing is that I didn't give up, right? So watch all those videos, keep on tweaking, because everybody shares their opinion based on their experience, what worked for them. So a particular creator might tell you this is what worked for her. Some other person will say, oh no, that doesn't work anymore. This is what worked for me. But you realize that these are just different things that work. So you might want to try everybody's advice until you find what works for that particular service that you're trying to offer, your niche, and the fact that you're new. Be persistent and keep tweaking. So for me, I usually when I started, or even if I'm trying to create a new gig outside of what I do, I help plan virtual events. So if I want to create any gig outside of what I do, maybe out of necessity or demand, it just came up to my head. But what I do is that I create the gig and I do the first research and I put it out there and I watch it. After 1 week, I come back and see, okay, what do I have impressions? My impressions low. I can't tell if they are low at that point. But usually I compare them to my previous, and then after 2 weeks I come back and I check, right? After 3 weeks, I come back and I check. And after 3 weeks, I can now start tweaking, right? I change my title. I use different keywords. I change my description. You won't believe, I just keep on tweaking until I'm satisfied. And guess what? I never get satisfied. So you have to be persistent. You have to tweak. So the second challenge that people usually see is on how to charge. Of course, I faced that problem. But what I always advise is start with the lowest price, right? Just start with the lowest. See it as you're not really working. I mean, you're worth more than that, but you are just doing this to be able to build your portfolio. So those first few clients that you're charging low, you're charging very low. You're doing that because you want to get clients, you want to increase your portfolio, you want to see what working with clients actually look like. Because in the real world, things are dynamic, things change. So you want to it's as if you're just helping them out, right? So start with the lowest price. You can work your way to the top and learn along as you go. So my next question is, how do I find clients for my freelance business? This is a very interesting question because, of course, I said if you're starting, remember this particular video is talking about starting small. And my advice is that if you're starting small, then please go into marketplaces. That's where you need to rebuild your portfolio over there. That's if you're starting small, right? Of course, if you're looking for international clients. Now, you want to go into this marketplace so that you minimize the amount of effort you put into market. So you want to put more effort into finding out how that particular platform works. Of course, things change, right? But you want to find out if you're using Upwork or Fiverr, whatever, how does Upwork work? How does Fiverr work, right? How do I make sure people see me? Because the people who want this services are there. You just want to make sure they see you. You want to ask yourself if that particular service that you're offering is an evergreen type of service. Is it a service? Is it a one-off type of service that just once and not ever want again, right? So these are the questions you want to ask yourself to be able to understand how can I construct or reconstruct or tweak my offer to become something that people want every time. Like, how do I make it so, right? So if you want to find your clients, find them in marketplaces, because you want to also understand that people are scared of being scammed. And sometimes if you direct message people on social media, people scam people. So they are scared that there is no security for their money. But if you're in this marketplace, these people understand that their money is secure because they are paying you through this platform. So they know that if you don't deliver, they are going to leave you bad review, right? So you know that these people are since you know that these people are capable of leaving you bad reviews, and you do not want any, you don't want to associate yourself with bad reviews, you're going to try as much as possible to provide your best quality. It's easier, you just have less stress because these marketplaces were built, on the basis of trust. Finding your clients, as I said, you want to do keyword research, you want to optimize your profile, you want to think about offering your service for free in exchange for reviews. Then I've also seen people who have succeeded by direct messaging their clients or direct messaging people on social media, in addition showing them their portfolio. So sometimes these things work out. It all depends. You just have to be open to trying different strategies. But for sure, if you didn't learn anything from today's video, join marketplaces if you want to start. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment. And as I said, I have an event. If you're a B2C business and you want to learn how you can attract your ideal client using webinar marketing strategies. I mean, there are different strategies out there, right? There's the social media. There are so many strategies of getting people to buy your service or products. But then I've seen that webinar marketing, from experience, I've seen that this works. So feel free, click the link in the description and register for my event, and I can't wait to see you. Thank you.